So tell me, Mark, why a network marketing company? Why is that the future here?
That's a great question, Miro. And to be honest, when I first built this brand, I never thought we were going to be a network marketing company. Growing up, I didn't really have the highest, opinion of network marketing companies. And, we heard these bad reputations and terms like pyramid scheme and things like that. And I just, I didn't want my beautiful, perfect brand to be associated with that. But as I've been an entrepreneur for a while, I've learned a lot. And I think I've matured and realized, I think one of the lessons that I've learned and just sharing with other people is it's not easy to be an entrepreneur. It's very challenging. It's very risky. It costs more money than you think it's going to cost to get things started. It takes longer than you think it's going to take. You have to have a skill set in so many different areas to build a business. And what I learned with network marketing done right, and I'd like to say we do everything, checking all the boxes of doing it right. It gives you all the benefits of being an entrepreneur, a business owner, without the risks and the headache, and even more important, with the support of a great organization and team that's going to help you be successful. Because as a company, we can't be successful without our ambassadors being successful. So as a company, we have to invest in so many resources to make it as easy as possible for these ambassadors to be able to be successful and build a business and attract other people to do the same. So I have become a huge fan of network marketing, and I love to preach and share the story that to me, it's the best way to become an entrepreneur, and the lowest risk and the highest return combination.
For everybody tuning in, if you're not watching video, listening to one of the podcast platforms, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we have Marc Wachter. I'm saying that right?
Yes.
From liveultimate.com, Marc Wachter. It's a simple last name. I should be able to say it right, but with the foreigner and me, you just never know. So I had to double check. But thanks so much for being on today. Be sure to everyone to check out liveultimate.com, and we'll definitely get a little further and more into that. But just kind of branching off your initial intro, how did you get past that mentality then? Because you said you didn't have the best relationship with what a network marketing company is. You even said the Ponzi scheme. Yes, like that's it's people obviously know that as well. So how did you get people to not think that way?
Sure. Well, when I started this brand, originally we were not a network marketing company. We dabbled in different products. Even we had a beverage division of this company, and we were in retail. I learned very quickly that the retail business is very difficult, and the beverage business is very difficult with low margins. And so we pivoted. And I think one thing that great entrepreneurs need to be able to do is learn when to pivot, because I think most entrepreneurs all go in with the opinion that I can do anything, or I'm going to make it work. But sometimes going in further and further down the wrong path is not the right decision either. So I've had to learn how to pivot constantly. We tried retail, then we did online marketing. And as this was happening, I was refining the brand and the story of Live Ultimate, and it was getting better and better. And I started thinking of terms like uncompromising standards and really wanting to make a brand that made a real difference in the world. And the expression, I think Richard Branson says this, if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, create value. And so I kept thinking, how can I create more value in what I'm doing? And then it just reached a point where we created this brand that became sort of like a movement, and all these great wellness influencers were attracted to our message and what our brand was all about. And I just started talking to some really smart people that I respect. And in fact, my brother being one of them, who's a really successful Wall Street, runs a huge private equity fund. And he was actually the one that said one day, Mark, I've been thinking about your brand, and this is made for network marketing. And I'm like, really? I thought you'd be the last person that would think that. Right. And he opened up my eyes to the idea that this is a brand is really made for it. Even the name of the brand, Live Ultimate, to live our ultimate life. join in and be part of this and inspire people to live their best life possible. So once I thought of the idea of network marketing, I just did research. I met one of the top advisors in the industry. I started to learn what the business was all about, and I became more and more attracted to it. And I love the idea of inspiring people to be entrepreneurs, but doing it in a responsible way. And network marketing can give people the ability to start a business very, very quickly without the kind of risk and overhead. And if I make my brand of the highest quality possible, then why wouldn't they want to be part of this and spread this movement if the brand is attractive to them?
Is it sustainable though? That's probably a big question you could ask, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's sustainable. And in fact, with network marketing, the beauty of network marketing as a company, but the same thing for the company as each individual that builds their own business. The beauty of network marketing is that you can build a sales organization very, very quickly. And if that sales organization keeps growing and keeps multiplying and duplicating, then you start having this huge potential sales force that starts doing all the heavy lifting for you. And if that keeps growing and growing, the way the compensation plan is designed, you start getting rewarded on all these efforts on what other people are doing. So the answer is absolutely, and it's scalable and sustainable, I think, is as strong as really any other business model in the world.
Awesome. And do you have your product there, I see, right, in the background?
One of the products. Actually, I would love to. I should have had it in there. This is our Ultimate Shrooms. We have a product called the Ultimate Elixir, which before the end, I can pull it up and just show you a picture.
Yeah.
It's actually one
so
of our
Ultimate Shrooms. Tell me more about that. It's a clever name.
Thank you. You know what I'd love to do is I want to tell you about the Ultimate Elixir first, because the Ultimate Elixir sort of led to the creation of Ultimate Shrooms. And I am going to, Brian, are you there? Can you quickly bring in an Ultimate Elixir so we can show the audience?
That's like the first product you made that you kind of went all in on, right?
Product. So the story behind the Ultimate Elixir, and I shared with you a video that we have, a 5-minute video story. I don't know if there's a way to have a link of that on our podcast so people can hear the full story, see pictures of me when I was a kid, what led to
we'll definitely have a link to the video on the bottom for sure. Cool. Because, I mean, there's definitely more to it. Like, you didn't just come up with this overnight.
No,
like,
and I think it's important to know that. Because and this is what inspired me to create this brand. And thank you, Brian. This is the Ultimate Elixir. This is our flagship foundational product. This is our baby. And we call it the evolution of the multivitamin, because we believe vitamins should come from raw, whole, plant-based foods that our body recognizes, not from a synthetic pill or tablet. And you can see it's USDA organic certified, kosher certified, vegan certified, 100% raw. We use only all glass packaging, never plastic. And these are part of our uncompromising standards for the brand. But real quick, just to give you the background, which you saw in the video, was that what inspired me to do this was that in 1996, and by the way, if you look on that wall right there, you see a certificate that says Life Mastery.
Can't really tell what it says.
Yeah, but
I
it
see
says
there's
Life
something.
Mastery, and I graduated from that in 1996. I went to Hawaii. It was an event that was hosted by Tony Robbins and all other leading experts on living our best life possible. And I learned so much. I was 30 then. I'm going to be 54 next week. But I learned at that event the importance of an alkaline-based diet. And an alkaline-based diet is basically a diet rich in vegetables, deep dark greens, and that most of us have a very acidic diet from eating too much meat, dairy, alcohol, coffee, and sugar, and it creates inflammation. And a quote that I took down, this was my version of what I learned, was that the foundation of peak performance in all aspects of life begins with a healthy alkalized body. And it sort of made sense then, but it makes even more sense now, which is that if you alkalize your body, you're going to have less inflammation. If you have less inflammation, you're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're going to perform better. You're going to have better relationships, all of those things. And some things we're in control of and some things we're not. But I made a decision that I'm in control of starting my morning every day with a green drink. So I left that event and I said, I'm going to see how long I can start my morning with a green drink. Instead of I can have my cup of coffee a half hour later, but I'm going to start with a green drink. And 23 years later, it was the best decision that I ever made. I started looking better, feeling better. I had more energy, and I kept track of my blood work. It was improving from this one simple daily morning ritual that I was doing. And over the years, I was sharing this with people, and it just it reached a point where I'm like, I feel like I have a gift to share with the world. And if people could just do some simple things, it can really make a profound difference. And ultimately, that led me to want to create this brand, Live Ultimate.
So, quick backtracking though, did you go to that event just to see Tony Robbins, or because it was in Hawaii? Which one?
Well, it's a great question. And I was running I'm an attorney by background, but I was running an agency for Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company. I was a very successful life insurance agent and had a successful agency. And I was actually motivating my sales force with Tony Robbins, because Tony Robbins had inspired me years earlier to actually leave law and do something more entrepreneurial, which was selling insurance and having my own business. I had a wealthy client that had purchased a ticket to go to this event in Hawaii, and he couldn't go, but he knew that I was training my sales force on it. And he basically just said, I think it was an $8,000 value. And he said, by the way, I can't make it. It's yours. You just have to get a plane flight. And it was maybe awesome. A week or two later. And I was like, wow, I'd never taken a trip like that alone on my own. And I'm like, you can't pass up an experience like this. And so I just got a ticket, hopped on a plane, spent 10 days there, and came back, and it changed my life.
So there's definitely a lot of competition, with what you're doing, for sure. I mean, no product is exactly like yours, but it's definitely something that's hot. Health is a good thing. It's sexy. Like everybody, it's the trend with the world right now. How do you convince others to hop on board, with your background? I guess, some people will come out and be like, oh, I'm a doctor of this and that, and, flex the doctor muscles. How did you go about that?
No, I've always believed in the expression, if you build it, they will come. And so I wanted to create a brand, and yes, of course, everything's competitive these days. And I came to the conclusion, and this was an evolution. It seems so simple, what I'm going to say, but it took time to get to this point. And we have a true north mission statement that I created a couple of years ago. And it begins with the words, with uncompromising standards and the belief that we must continuously evolve. And it goes on from there. But the point behind it is that all I can do is try and create the best possible products with uncompromising standards that would attract, and we say this, I say it in my video, that would attract the most discerning wellness influencers in the marketplace, the people with the highest standards possible. So everything we do here, and when we source our ingredients and when we package it, we look for the highest quality, the highest certifications, USDA organic certified, all glass packaging. Our skincare line has this coveted EWG verified seal, which is the gold standard for skin safety. So everything we do is to check the box that it's going to be best in class. And so from that point, if somebody likes another product that's also of high quality, great. I mean, I can't stop anything else. The only thing I'm in control over is making sure that we create products of the highest standards that I believe will attract people that have the highest standards. And I believe that if I can attract them, it should be easy for other people to follow along. And I think that's what's beginning to start to happen with our company, which is really exciting, because we now have, we're still in the early stages, but I think close to 800 ambassadors in our wellness ambassadors. And many of them are top in they're graduates of the top nutrition school in the country. They're leading wellness influencers. And I hear from them what makes me feel so good. But I know that they say, how many times I get approached by different companies that want me to represent their brand, but I always say no, something didn't feel right, but it feels different. And I smile inside, but I'm not surprised, because look, I've learned over the years, this is not a company that started overnight. This is an 8-year startup, and a lot more money than I ever dreamed would go into this. a lot more risk. It's amazing we even made it to this point, but it's just, I was lucky enough to have great investors. I put a lot into it, took a tremendous amount of risk, but we kept refining and improving until we created something that has uncompromising standards, and I think is a brand that is ready to attract the best people, and I think knock on wood, I think we're ready to explode. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. And I could see that, like, if you build it and then, you will attract those people.
Yeah.
And those people will be there and they'll be the ones that could back everything. Cause it's at the end of the day, right? You may be the face, but it's everybody else.
I have to have a brand that's going to attract the people that we want. And how do you do that? By creating a brand that is attractive to them, right? I mean, it seems so simple, but yet every decision, and when you go out there in the wellness space, everything is, you're getting, explained, that's too difficult. You don't want to use glass. It's easier with plastic, the shipping, this, and it's easy to listen to other people. And finally one day, and we were having problems with our brand. And finally one day I said, I'm going to stop listening to other people, other advisors, other consultants, and I'm going to go dig deep and trust my gut and trust my instinct. And I'm going to do it the way I think it needs to be done. And I feel like when that decision was made, it felt like we, instead of fighting upstream, I felt like we started swimming downstream, and it started to resonate, that people were attracted to that message of what this brand stands for.
How do you bulletproof yourself though? Because obviously, I'm not saying any of your products are, but there's the whole trend nowadays of everything. Like, I gotta be keto this, I gotta be vegan that. There's definitely some of it is a fad, right? How do you bulletproof yourself, and do you believe in any of that as being a fad?
Keto diet, I think, may be a fad. I know it's controversial in terms of whether we should be, eating, a high animal protein diet. There's the opposite, the new movie that came out called The Game Changers, all about the plant-based diet. And so, look, we're going to always have mixed sides of it, but I think one thing that holds true is that I think everybody agrees that we should be eating more deep, dark green vegetables and more raw, whole plant-based foods in our diet. So we should have, I believe, primarily at least a plant-based diet, and evidence seems to be showing that. So I want to just create products that we believe will have real benefit for people. And when you say bulletproof, our way to bulletproof is the words with uncompromising standards, and the belief that we must continuously evolve, because we have to keep evolving. And when I hear something, and we're lucky that we have top wellness coaches and influencers that are representing our brand, because I get to hear feedback all the time from them of what are their customers saying, what's on trend. And we need to be on the pulse of that to make sure that we are, leading that trend, and we're in front of that trend. Like, for example, there's a huge, it's kind of quiet but growing, but there's a huge trend towards people realizing the importance of skin safety, that the products we're putting on our skin are loaded with chemicals. These chemicals are entering our bloodstream, and they're making us sick, and they're literally causing cancer and other diseases. And I tell people, don't take my word for it. Just go onto Google and type in 2 words, cosmetics and cancer. And you'll see evidence is showing what we're putting on our skin is getting absorbed into our bloodstream. It's so unregulated, the market. We have no idea what's inside these skincare products, and they're toxic. And there's a new movie out, which I recommend people watch. It's a documentary called Toxic Beauty. And in fact, I was invited. I was on the panel on to speak after their one of their premiere showings in Miami. And it's about really educating people about how we need to be aware of what we're putting on our skin. We're aware we're not going to put chemicals, we're not going to eat chemicals, but putting them on our skin are entering our bloodstream. So there's a trend towards this skin safety, and there's the Environmental Working Group, which has a Skin Deep database, and they're all about promoting skin safety. And we are one of only a small handful of brands that have received this special coveted certification being EWG verified.
And that means what?
EWG verified. EWG is short for the Environmental Working Group. And to become verified, it took us 2 years. They had to review not just each ingredient, but the source of origin of each ingredient in our products. So you know that our skincare products are as pure and clean as possible. And that is something that one of the things that we're doing. Other brands can come along, but we're one of only, I think, when last I checked, one of only 112 brands in the world that have that certification. Other brands can do it. It's difficult. It takes a lot of time. It's a barrier to entry. But I welcome other brands to raise their standards. So I can't worry about other great products. All I can worry about is what we're in control of, which is to try and make the best brand and the best products we possibly can. And hopefully people will appreciate that and want to be a part of it and want to use and take our products and trust our brand.
Are you worried that there might be too many standards? Because nowadays, I feel like, especially, it's like a millennial movement, standard for this, standard for that. Like every week, there's something new.
There's no doubt that sometimes we have to, pay attention to, is this a fad certification? And we can't go down rabbit holes and drive ourselves crazy. But, it's a decision that we have to make with our internal team, that we're going to create our products with uncompromising standards. So it's a great question. And, every day we have to make decisions based on that. But the number one decision is we've got to make sure that we are leading the trend and that we're doing things that we believe will attract the highest quality wellness advocators, influencers, whatever term you want to use in the marketplace, that they will respect our brand for the standards that we have.
Speaking of attracting, advocators, you partnered with Serena Williams, right, for your run?
Yeah. So
how does that doesn't happen every day, right?
No. So we had, I was a runner as a kid. I ran my first New York City marathon at the age of 14. When I moved down to Miami Beach 20 something years ago, interesting story. When I went to the Tony Robbins event in 1996, the Life Mastery event, really, the two main things that I came out of that experience with, one was to start having a green drink every morning. The other was I wanted to do something charitable and for the community. And Ocean Drive in South Beach was this just cool location. And I just came up with this idea of, why don't I start the Ocean Drive 5K charity run? And I did. And 1997 was the first one. 96, I was at that event, and I did it in 97. And it was so cool. And I got all the local, I call them local celebrities, but the nightclub owners, all the people that would never get up early in the morning got together for this cool run up and down Ocean Drive. And over the years, it just became a staple event. And when I founded the brand Live Ultimate, I renamed the run from the Ocean Drive run to the Live Ultimate run. And then in 2014, a good friend of mine is very good friends with Serena Williams. And he had mentioned to me that Serena was interested in starting a 5K run. Well, it's not easy to put a run together. I can tell you over the years of what we did working with the city, getting the permits. And so he introduced me to Serena. And when I created the brand Live Ultimate, this is a cool story. I said my goal was to create a brand that becomes virtually impossible not to fall in love with, that you have to fall in love with the brand and with the message and what it stands for. And when I spoke to Serena for the first time on the phone, she said, I went to your website and I absolutely fell in love with your brand. And I love your messaging and what your brand stands for. And I get it. I mean, Serena lives ultimate, she's living the ultimate life. And I gave a speech at the charity run that we have that I'm so proud of. And I said, you live ultimate more, not for even what you've done on the court, but off the court. She donates her time and she's created this incredible charity. So, it was really a cool experience working with Serena. We worked with her for 2 years. We partnered with her on the run. Now, I want to be clear that Serena, really, maybe she could, but she can't endorse our products. She has sponsorships with other brands. But
Yes.
I certainly know she's a fan of everything that we're doing, and she's an amazing woman. And and we kept in touch over the years. But the runs we did with her were in 2014 and 15. We
Okay.
actually partnered with Ray Allen, the NBA legend, in 2016 for our run. So, we've been able to get really, leading celebrities, athletes to, get behind our brand and our movement and what we're all about. So it's pretty cool.
You got a tease for anybody else coming up?
I do not right now. Sorry, guys. We're always talking and looking.
Putting you on the spot.
Relationships. So no, I just don't. I'd be honest. If we did, I'd tell you. But we're just always kind of keeping our eyes and ears open for who connects and resonates with this brand. But I can tell you that we do have some major celebrities that are customers of our brand, which is pretty exciting. I don't want to mention their names just out of privacy, but it's nice to see that they're attracted to our brand, and I'm not surprised, because I wanted to create products that would truly make a difference. And real quickly, just getting back to the Ultimate Elixir, this is really the culmination of a 20+ year journey of mine, mixing and matching greens and superfoods and super this, super that. And when we created the Ultimate Elixir and we put together all of these different, must-haves that we described, what must be in the ultimate, nutritional formula, mushrooms came up. And
that's an odd one. Yeah.
Mushrooms are arguably the most powerful superfoods on earth if they're the right mushrooms. And so we went out and we went just, everything we did, we dove in like with everything we had. And we started for all of our ingredients, but we started researching to source the best mushrooms in the world, the ones that have the most medicinal benefits. And it's all about beta glucans inside these mushrooms. And you need to have the sprouted portion, the fruiting body is where all the concentration of mushroom, the benefits and the beta glucans are. And most brands do not use that. It takes more time to get the sprouts. It's more expensive. It's harder to do. And our mushrooms are grown in the most pristine conditions in hoop houses on wood logs and really done right. And so our customers, our Ultimate Shrooms product is just, it's really, it's neck and neck with our Ultimate Elixir in terms of our top products.
So what do the shrooms do for you? Exactly.
So there's really three major benefits. We say they give you energy. So people use it as a coffee substitute or in coffee. And actually, I take it in my coffee. It actually tastes great in coffee. For me, it does, certainly, and a lot of other people like it. It just kicks it up a notch. It's great for cognitive function, and it's great for overall immunity. So it gives you energy, immunity, and helps cognitive function as well. It just keeps you healthy. And our mushrooms, we have all organic reishi, cordyceps, chaga, lion's mane, turkey tail, shiitake, maitake, and oyster. These are the mushrooms you want.
Losing me, man.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
No, that's. I'm sure you get asked this, and it's. I can't avoid it. What do people ever try to come to you and be like, oh, is that actual shrooms?
Yeah, all the time. You mean psychedelic shrooms?
Yeah, like how do you go about that?
We have a little bit of play on that. We like to have fun with it.
It's catchy. I love it. We
had T-shirts made up where it says #GetShroomed, and on the back of it says have you had your shrooms today? And what's really interesting is that as I've learned and studied mushrooms, now don't get me wrong, I've never taken psychedelic mushrooms in my life. But there is all this research now. It was even on 60 Minutes that they've given these psychedelic mushrooms to depressed people and people with cancer. And even 6 months, a year, 2 years later, they profoundly see a more positive view on their life from that experience. And I don't know. There's something there's something really unique about mushrooms. Now, ours are not psychedelic, but I will tell you that you can get a really euphoric feeling if you take a hefty dose of our mushrooms, because they make you feel good and happy and energized. So,
is it like is it like a cousin of the mushroom family?
Well, there's psilosporin. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Is this ingredient that makes it psychedelic? Now that there is none of that in our product. So, I don't know. It's a great question what the cousin or relationship is, but there's something very, very powerful about mushrooms and the healing benefits of them.
Definitely interested in that shirt, by the way.
Oh, you know what? My gift to you, I'm going to send you a Get Shroom shirt along with a bottle of our Ultimate Shrooms.
Appreciate it. Or I'll fly out there to see it myself. No, that's awesome. And so you're on this journey now. You said an 8-year startup that really caught me because I'm here, part of a startup as well. And this whole entrepreneurship game, or whatever you call it, it's not for everybody. I'm sure you quickly realize that, right? It's a very dark place. Some call it narcissistic because, to an extent, yeah, we are there. We have to be there, responsible for everything. How do you feel about it? And can you dive into any of these dark moments you've been in?
Yes, and some of it's been very dark. It's put a strain on my marriage, and it's stressful. And look, I'm transparent about this with our company that we have now well over $10 million invested into this company. It's crazy. I never in a million years thought that we'd need that kind of money to get to where we are now. Now, it wasn't a straight linear line. We made mistakes. We had to drop divisions. And over the years, it costs money. You have a team, a sales force, and so forth. But it's tough to be an entrepreneur. And it is risky. And you're alone. And you're on your own. And unless you have access to unlimited capital, you've got to either get it right very, very quickly or figure out what you're going to do, or have a really well thought out business plan on how to become profitable. But there's a lot of elements to building a business from scratch. And I would say not only is it not for everyone, I think most people don't realize what they're getting into. And when you get in deep, you have two decisions to make. One is cut your losses, which may be the right decision for most people, or continue down that path and double down on it. And I doubled down, triple down, quadruple down on it. And I finally am seeing the light from it. But wow, 8 years, so much money, so much personal sacrifice to get to where we are, that really that is part of my story that I share about why network marketing. And I say, don't do what I did, but take what I built and now go spread it to the world on my not my nickel, on my, whatever you want to say, on my fortune. Take it and run with it. One of our ambassadors tells the story. She's a health coach. And she said, Marc Wachter and I both wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Marc wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out how he's going to recoup his, multi-million-dollar investment. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning not being able to believe that I was handed the keys to all of this, and I can build the business and share it with people and grow it, without taking the risk and all the costs and all the headache. And I don't have to carry inventory.
Exactly.
I don't have to deal with supply chain issues. I don't have to create my own website. I don't need to create my own marketing materials. I don't have to create videos. The company does all of that for me. And it's the truth. And that's really what my message is now about entrepreneurship, and why I think people should take a serious look at network marketing. But it's got to be with the right company, with the right message that resonates with you, and a company that you believe in and can get behind. It has to be well funded, and all of those things. But if you have that, it's a really smart way to be an entrepreneur, in my opinion.
Well, because you just convinced me to not start up my own business anymore. So how do you keep yourself in the game? What's driving you?
Well, what's driving me with this company is what this brand message is all about. Live ultimate, to live our best life possible. And what we put in and on our body matters. And so at the end of the day, if I had to look back and leave a legacy to my children, I don't think I could do anything in the world more rewarding than create a brand that would improve lives and to inspire people to live their best life possible. And so that's what inspired me over the years, that at the beginning, a lot of it was just the name of the brand. The name attracted me. I'm like, I love the name Live Ultimate.
It's a catchy name.
And it just, that alone drove me for many years. And then I wanted to create a brand that was the ultimate representation of the name Live Ultimate and what that would be. And now when you say in too deep, I'm in beyond too deep. I mean, we're there now. So what drives me now is how do we turn this into, a brand that the world knows about and the world is proud of, and it's happening now. And I'm invited to do podcasts like this and share the story. And we have that new video that tells my story and shows everything, the creation of this brand. And I'm proud, and I'm proud to watch these amazing ambassadors that have joined our brand, building businesses from it. It's starting to grow and they're excited, and seeing their excitement excites me. And so that's what drives me every day. And in our business model, we become successful by our ambassadors becoming successful. Mm-hmm. So my business now, really all day long, is helping them to become successful, being available to tell the story to new people that want to come and learn about what our brand is all about, and welcome them to be part of, the Live Ultimate family.
That's a very nice way to put it. Thanks. But now you survived the first part of the show. We're moving on to our listeners' favorite part of the show.
Welcome to the round with no name, because they're all taken.
We got Smart Miro in the house. I'm about to ask you some very smart questions.
Oh, great.
You're going to get 5 seconds.
Oh, no.
Initiate and answer. You don't have much time. It's a very serious round. Otherwise, my producer comes out, and trust me, we don't want to have to deal with Steve. He's a tough cookie. But you get 5 seconds. We just want to know a little bit more about the real Mark.
Okay.
What is your favorite book?
Deepak Chopra's 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.
Your favorite movie?
Rocky. All the Rocky movies.
Classic. Yeah, you can't just pick one. If you're about to be stranded on an island, you're going to thank me later for preparing you now. What is the one item you want with you? Can't be a person.
The ultimate elixir, so that I can nourish and alkalize my body so I am ready for anything. And I mean that. I never miss a day. This is what I do first thing in the morning every day. And if I was on a stranded island, I would need that with me.
You'd need a lot more than one bottle.
Yes, but at least, exactly. Good point.
What is the most, who is the most nervous person you were ever about to meet that you were just so anxiety filled?
Nervous, meaning nervous, excited, nervous?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, look, there's some of the people that I really respect. I've met them before. I've trained with them. Tony Robbins, Richard Branson. Entrepreneurs that I really respect are people that I would love to get to know better and spend time with.
Is entrepreneurism a fad?
No.
If I came to your office and I told you I got $1 million idea, let's talk about it, and I walked in with socks and sandals, how would you feel about this whole meeting?
I've learned to not judge people based on what they're wearing. I want to hear what their ideas are all about. So, it might have an impact after I hear the story, but because I do believe it means something, but it depends on what the $1 million idea was. And I always believe the smartest people need to be open-minded and not judgmental.
How do you drink your coffee?
I drink my coffee. I have a frother, so I use almond or oat milk, or sometimes mix both. I froth it up, put a scoop of Ultimate Shrooms in it, a quarter scoop of raw cacao, dark chocolate powder, whip it up. I have a shot of espresso. I pour it in, and that's my ultimate shroom latte every morning. After my elixir, about 20 minutes after.
You got to trademark. You got to copyright that.
Thank you.
Ultimate shroom latte. Boom. And if you had $100 million right now and you could start up any business you wanted to, it can't be your own. It can't be a non-for-profit. What would it be?
I can't answer that question, Miro, because I'm building my business right now and I don't want to leave what I built. If I had $100 million, I'd love to keep that in the bank and work on what I'm doing now and use some of that money to help grow this business even faster and have more people learn about what I'm doing.
There has to be something else, though. I'm not saying you would ever do it, but if there's like something you would invest in or do. There's always something.
I'm sure that there is, but the wellness space is something I'm so passionate about now. Mm-hmm. If I had $100 million and I needed to invest it in something other than that, to be honest, I'd have to give it a lot more due diligence and a lot more thought of what that would be. But in terms of what drives me and what gets me up every day that I want to build, it's what I'm doing right now. So I'm sorry I didn't answer the question the way I know you wanted it answered, but I'm just being as truthful as I can.
All right, let me step away. You survived. I survived. I hope that other Miro, my evil twin, Miko is actually his real name. Hope he treated you well, but you survived. I survived, and hope you enjoyed that.
I did. I really did. Thank you, Miro.
Marc Wachter of liveultimate.com. Be sure to check him out. Is there anything going on for our listeners? Any like how can someone get involved with the program or maybe some promotion going on or anything?
Sure. Great question. And look, I love anybody that's inspired by this message. Number one, in two ways. One, that wants to take our products or take our ultimate 30-day challenge. And if they reach out to me, I can put them in touch with one of our ambassadors. But until the end of the month, which is another 2 days, we have a promotion where if somebody wants to take the ultimate 30-day challenge with this, we give if they become what we call a preferred customer and go on subscription, they can cancel anytime before the end of the month. We give them the first bottle for free. They just have to pay for shipping. So that's one way if they want to try our products. Mm-hmm. And if they want to learn about becoming an ambassador and build actually the entrepreneurship side of this, I would love that. I welcome it. They can go to liveultimate.com, click on becoming an ambassador. They can email me directly at Marc, MARC, @liveultimate.com. I promise I will respond to anybody that reaches out to me because I am all about inspiring people and growing our field of ambassadors. So people that want to be a part of this.
I can tell. I got a lot of energy after this episode. I'm usually the one giving the energy, but I feel a lot too in return here. So
you start taking the ultimate elixir and ultimate shrooms.
Yes, sir. I'll be waiting. No, really been a pleasure having you on, Marc Wachter, everybody of liveultimate.com. It's been an honor, been a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing, where you're at maybe in about a year. Definitely we could reconnect and, see how things are going. If you're further in the 9-year startup phase or if you finally moved on to the growth phase.
Thank you, Miro. I hope to have a different conversation with you in a year and not a 9-year startup, but I look forward to that.
Thank you.
That is all for this episode of Boss to Boss. Your next step is to visit bosstoboss.com, where you will find proven techniques followed by professionals to help you make that next step. Again, that is boss2boss.com. And remember, the time is now.